Right, guys, so we're here at Maloney Estate. HHAY just finished, so we're going to ask people, can different parenting styles cause tension in a relationship? So we're going to get these people and we're going to get their feedback, right? Stay with me. Let's go! Different parenting styles. Could that cause tension in a relationship? And if so, why?
Yes, it does, because I may have my way of dealing with something and my husband will have his own way of dealing with it, right? So obviously we would come from different backgrounds, different families, different perspectives. So yes, it will cause problems.
As we talk about problems, one of our offspring will smile. Okay, so what do you think is the best way to deal with the tension in the relationship? Your husband says, Kais had to get some lash, and you say, well, let me talk to him.
I think we must come together before. We shouldn't leave it by chance. Like this happened, and we now decided, okay, you deal with this how, and then I might be upset with how you handled it. Right? I think we need to come to a mutual agreement and understanding of how we deal with it. Because I might realize, like if I do this, my son will react differently.
Right.
If I do X, my daughter will react differently. So we now can have a discussion and say, well, okay, I realize, okay, like for instance, my son, every morning, he would kick up a fuss to go to school, right? But I already mastered that. From the time he wake up in the morning, you have to greet him with hugs. Show some love and say, okay, how was your sleep? You rest nice. But on the other hand, he kick up a fuss and you want to hit the boy hard slap as he wake up. No. Those things, they spoil the entire day, right? So you have to learn the child and discuss how you're going forward.
Okay, so could different parenting styles cause tension in relationships? If yes, why?
What do you mean by different parenting styles?
Right, so I believe in hitting the child at hard manners, and she believes in being gentle with John. Talk to John nice.
So John, it depends on the crime, eh?
Right. The crime,
It depends on the crime, right? So, for example, if you tell John go in your bed, and John
not going
in the bed. Sometimes John might need a bed as
right,
set to himself, you understand? John might need a shaking up, but I think really and truly, I think is both parents have to come together and you find a way to really and truly deal with the situation and really and truly love. You understand? Really love. So it's not a case of corporal punishment is the way or beating a child is the way. Sometimes it could happen as a result of frustration. Sometimes you can be frustrated, you're talking to the child more than once, and sometimes you just need a small nudge, in the direction. But I don't believe in outright saying whether the corporal punishment is the way.
Okay. Well, what about you say if you have two children and they both do the same thing, but one style of parenting or one style of punishment would work for the other? Would you do two, like, so beat one and talk to one, or you're beating two or talking to two?
So you're talking about, okay, so for example, male and female?
Yeah, or they do the same thing and you give them different punishments.
Oh, the same thing and you give them different punishment. Good question. I think it depends on the situation and depends on, I guess, the child's nature too. Because that some children can be more harder than others.
Right.
So some children you might have to talk to more than once, and for other children you might just talk to, might just have to raise your voice and the child already melt.
Okay.
And for some children they just stubborn. I mean, I won't say stubborn, but they just a bit more rebellious. You understand? They might need
a little bit more nudge.
Yeah, a little nudge.
Okay.
But yeah.
Of course, it can cause tension because I have my style and she would have hers.
Whose style is the best way? Or whose style would be deemed the best way? Let's say if it's, boy, children, whose style is the best way?
All right, well, both styles. Both styles are good. There are times my style kick in, and there are times her style kick in, and it works that way.
Okay.
All right. So sometimes I would call her for assistance.
Okay.
And sometimes she would call me for assistance.
Okay. So you're saying at varying times, some styles might be more applicable. One style might be better used instead of the heavy-handed approach or soft-handed approach.
Yes.
What if none of them working?
Hardly. Hardly ever.
Hardly ever. Okay, so you are the master styles out there. You had the soft, hard. You know which one to put for when then.
Yeah. Not all the time. Not all the time. That's why sometimes my wife will jump in and she'll take over.
Okay.
Alright?
Okay.
Yeah. But at have times where you see that, well, as they grow, you get to learn the children.
Okay.
So you would see the behavior, and with that type of behavior, I would know, well, all right, I have to deal with this. All right? And then when it comes to other things, I would just know that, darling, you come and deal with this. And I would just go and show that.
So I guess they're realizing, okay, this situation here is best that my wife deal with this one compared to me, because her style or how she might do it.
It will work in this situation, more softer. Not heavy-handed.
So it's right saying too as well, there must be some level of disagreement in terms of, okay,
yes,
you must, every problem is not nailed because you have a hammer.
No.
Okay.
I guess plus my wife and I prayed a lot.
Okay.
Right, we read the book a lot and we learn from it. We also ask persons that have children, big children, for advice and counsel and how to deal and how to treat with it. Treat with them, because I mean, sometimes they.
Hi, good night everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Merge Podcast, the best place to be on every second Friday night of the month. This is the third Friday night of the month. We had a little skip because we had a little family engagement. It was my sister's birthday last Friday. Woo! Belated happy birthday to my lovely sister, Rayanne. And so we're here this evening again. Kareina, welcome. David,
Thank you.
welcome.
Thank you.
And so tonight's topic is none other than what to do when parenting styles crash. Guys, this is a steamy one. This is a hot one. Invite your husband to sit down with you and look at it. Husbands, invite your wives to come and sit down and look at it. Don't say nothing, don't even wink at them. Just listen to it and go in bed and sleep.
Wink at them, man. Wink at them.
David, I understand you went out and did some interviews and we just looked at. If you missed it, you can rewind. How was that?
It's always good talking to people after just about the podcast and issues like head on. So we did it after EY program. Mm-hmm. And so I got friends. I interviewed Odell, Shaniqua and Tevin. Well, two fellas who I know them and I know their children. Okay. And their parenting style seems to be working good. Shaniqua, Shaniqua is my sister-in-law. And parenting style working good too as well. Definitely, I'll take some credit for that. For Kaisa and I'm joking, guys.
What?
But welcome to the Wish Podcast. But it was nice talking to them and just getting the feedback about different parenting styles, and definitely enjoyed it. And I think we're gonna have a fantastic podcast tonight, guys. Like, share, subscribe, send it to every single body on your WhatsApp chat. Just spam the chat. They might block you after, but that is okay, right? You can add somebody else to your WhatsApp. So yeah.
Wow. Yes, and as in the same vein as David, like our video. So take that time at this point to just pause, like the video, share it with someone, put it as your status. Share it on Facebook. If you know how to share the link on Instagram, share the link on Instagram. Share it on TikTok, anything. Share it because it's good content, and at the end of the day, it's uplifting content as well. And we are designing this type of content to benefit each and every one of us, and also for the holistic development of the family and the society. So it will do us good. And as somebody who I follow a lot, they say if you're under the Android anointing, if you're an Apple apostle, if you are a digital disciple, and something else that I always forget, but in any event, share the live, share the link, and share it to somebody you care about.
You're sounding like if that is Pastor Snell.
Yes, it is.
Pastor Debleaire Snell.
Yes.
Pastor Debleaire Snell, for those of you who don't know, is the host, the pastor of the Breath of Life program in the Oakwood University Church. It's a wonderful program that we tune into as well. They have a podcast on marriages as well. We also tune into that.
There are various types of podcasts. So,
Yeah,
mental health,
yeah.
marriage, all sorts of things.
And he's a powerful
Yeah.
intellectual and man of God.
Yeah.
And we had the opportunity, drum roll guys, to interview Pastor Snell for this podcast.
Yes.
Yeah, we had the opportunity to interview Pastor Snell. And so you want to buckle up and stay tight, stay locked on, because you're going to hear from Pastor Snell what he has to say on the topic, what to do when parenting styles clash.
Yeah.
And Pastor Snell, you're going to hear from him a little bit later on,
Yep.
from our field correspondent. Yes. So Kareina, who we have online with us tonight? Anybody?
Yeah. So we have Amelia Lee Jones joining us
All
all the
right.
way from the Southlands. Amelia Lee, and I'm guessing your entire family as well. So thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, wherever you are messaging
from, yeah.
tuning in from, put it in the chat.
Yeah.
Let's shout you out. If you're from Arima, all the Arima folks. If you're from Balanja, from Rampanalgas, wherever you
If you're
may be
from
from,
Sanssouci.
Sanssouci, Toko.
If you're joining us from abroad.
Yeah, if you're joining us from Canada, from Grenada, St. Vincent.
Yeah.
Carcass.
Carcass is abroad.
Yeah.
If you're joining us from Venezuela, we'll put some closed caption there or something. But
Yeah, I mean, Joseph, our tech Joseph, he's doing a great job, bringing up the comments up on the screen too. So that's good.
yeah, lovely. So we want to engage with you tonight, but of course, we can't start without you. Share the link, subscribe, knock your neighbor, tell them, hey, let's start, go tune in. We're going to get right into it now, you know.
Yeah.
We're not we're not penalizing those who come early at all.
All right.
We're going to get right into it. David, you know, as we talk about this topic, what to do when parenting styles clash, before we get into it, you know, we're not just talking about different parenting styles. And tonight, just disclaimer, we're not speaking about parenting styles in the formal sense of the word. We're using a broad category, parenting styles or approaches.
A broad definition.
A broad
For
definition.
Persons, you know, I know persons very academic and, you know, they want to come first in the chat and stuff like that. But this time we're putting out a disclaimer. We are using broad definitions, guys.
Yes.
So if you want to come first, well, yeah, come
Do
first.
just do it in the
Come
chat. Do it in the chat and reshare the video
Yeah.
and say Jayden and them doing rubbish, but just make sure to reshare the video, right?
Yeah, that's what-
Spread
yeah,
to
yeah.
the world.
Come on, see the rubbish them talk.
Just engagement. Jasmine is joining us all the way from her house. Anya is viewing from Tobago, and Javon sent her shout out from Mausica. Happy Sabbath. Aquilina from Maracas, St. Joseph. So people are.
Aquilina. I wonder if that's Aquilina the photo.
I know, David.
You all know that.
Hi, miss. Good night. You're my best behavior.
Yes,
Your mother's
Aquilina
student.
Seeley
Yes.
Decoto. Yes.
All right. Good to have you in the house. That's my former IT teacher.
Yes, my IT
Both
teacher
of
too
you?
as well. Yeah.
Yes. The best, one of the best schools,
Kareina,
eh?
listen.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
tell you.
CUC Secondary.
Amen.
Yes.
Emergency RSSC. Happy Sabbath. Bless Happy Sabbath, everyone. I don't
Where
know
you
who that
shouting
is.
out from?
I don't know who Emergency RSSC is. So if you want to say who you are and tell us where you're from, Roma Central. Happy Sabbath.
All right. Roma Central, where you shouting us out from?
From our house.
Family and
From your
right
house in
across the
Arena. Cool.
Yeah.
So guys, we're talking about what to do when parenting styles clash. And what are some of the types or different types of things that parents do that can clash?
Well, the first one I would think about will be corporal punishment. Licks.
That's a big one.
Right, so some people might be like, don't beat my child and ting. So
Yeah.
if the two parents don't see quite eye to eye, and that definitely could be a big clash between the
Yeah.
parents. Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, there are parents who not only show up in schools if you interfere or you touch the child, but even in the home.
Yeah.
Imagine if a mother or a father is one who believes in corporal punishment. They believe spare not the rod kind of parenting. And the next one is a gentle parents. Talk to Billy.
Come, Tommy, move away from the fire.
I don't like the accent they're putting on.
Sorry, Tommy, move away from the fire.
No,
please.
you have to put the accent.
Yeah,
we
yeah,
put the
yeah.
accent because it's common now.
Right.
But in yesteryear in the Caribbean,
Yeah.
gentle parenting wasn't a thing.
Yeah.
That was not a phenomenon.
Hold on, let that belt and relax yourself.
Yeah, and let a belt, a swizzled steak, pot
Yeah.
spoon. If you're lucky, you didn't get a bucket. But you know, they again, we just it's funny, but it's dealing with different types of parenting approaches.
Yeah.
And one parent will say that nothing is wrong with that, and the other will be like, that's abuse.
And I think it's one parent could interpret it as abuse because of what they experience from their parents, and they probably might not want to repeat that in their parents' life or in their child's life.
Yeah.
But it could be the same thing for the next person. They also experience corporal punishment, but the way in which their parents applied it was with a level of discipline. So they didn't just beat the child out of anger. You get more mad a coffee in your face. They say, hey, what? You did so wrong today, so you're getting 5 strokes from this leather belt. Can you please turn around?
Yeah.
And whoop, whoop, whoop,
And select
whoop,
the spot.
Where do you want it? Right? So they're getting licks, but it's strategic licks.
Yeah, there's a protocol.
Right? So it's not a protocol to follow. But the next person who probably might not want to do corporal punishment, they probably get licks from their mother or their father. Just like, wow, slap in the face, like off in the face.
Yeah.
So when they hear corporal punishment or licks, that's the first thing they would probably gravitate towards. And they can't imagine it in a controlled environment.
Right.
Yeah.
True.
I mean, just digressing a little bit, you know what I hate? Surprise licks, mate. I think that has traumatized children, right? Like nobody there, you just, hey.
That's just something that you did like 2 days ago.
Surprise
and,
licks, yeah. I think, boy, it's better you tell the child come and
Yeah.
So,
I'm
I
going to
never
give you
get
licks.
I never get a surprise licks. I get real licks bad. Never get a surprise licks.
Yeah, boy. So you lie down in your bed sleeping and
Nah.
that is traumatic.
I can't say I ever get surprise licks. But I'll just
on
say
the
it.
podcast.
Yeah. So that's definitely a point of contention, Kareina.
I think another point of contention could be, one parent is the follow-through parent, and the other parent, they will say, they will talk or whatever, but they would not follow through.
Right.
So it's like almost their threat. I don't want to say the threats, but their words are
Empty.
doesn't mean anything. So the other parent would end up looking like the bad person when they do follow through.
I think as a parent, you have to follow through with whatever you say.
As real working on.
Yeah. Well, talk less. Talk less. Like, you have to follow through to what you say. Because whether it's be good or bad, you promise them something nice or you promise them something bad. You want to be a man or woman of your word as a parent modeling that to your child. Because you don't want your child just saying things and not following through as well. You say, Daddy, you tell me you was going to do so. Mommy, you say you was going to do X, Y, and Z and you never did it.
Yeah.
Whether it be wrong or right. So, and your child will lose a level of respect for you too as well. So you definitely have to follow through with whatever you say.
Let your yea be a yea and your nay be a nay.
Yep.
So that's another point of possible tension in a relationship where they believe. What about emotional responsiveness?
Like one parent.
I'll break that down a little bit from with you.
Like, what do you mean?
And by the way, while we chatting here, y'all who are online, put what you think in the chat, maybe points for tension in a marriage, in a two parents, whether they're married or not. They may be parenting a child together. What are points of tension in terms of parenting approaches and styles? When I say emotional responsiveness, I'm talking about a parent who may be very attentive. The child hardly cry yet, and they're there, they reach with all the empathy in the world. Everything is okay. And another parent who is like, they fall down, prat up on the ground. Like, yep, you ain't moved yet.
I think that's a challenge. Within
What's that
the responsive like a responsive, emotionally responsive parent and a non-responsive parent, because that can come across specifically to the emotionally responsive person as that parent doesn't really care about the child.
Yeah.
And they could bring it up vocally too. For example, if a child should fall down right in the presence of the unresponsive parent, and the other one had to come from wherever they are and say, your father sat down right there and he ain't gonna do nothing. And then the child will be, and then the parents will be like, yeah, he got it good, man, he got it good. And then be like, I don't understand. And that right there can be a point of contention because, be blaming.
Of course.
But why if he good? Why if he good? Why if he
Well, if he
good?
good, well, I guess he good.
And the other side is also true because the parent who sits there, watch the child falls, may just have a good rationale as to why they responded the way they responded.
Right, yeah.
Because they saw the entire thing take place.
They saw the thing. So it was just like, yeah, you're fine. You can get up. Right. But the other parent who is very responsive can come and be, and so you can have a little, as they say, ding dang.
Yeah.
You can have a little problem here because a little tension because the thing about it is that both of you may be coming from a good space.
Right.
But it's just the action seems different to each other. And I think that's important to note because we're not trying to vilify or even determine which style of parenting is correct or wrong in this podcast, but just noting the fact that there can be tension built based upon the different approaches.
Yeah. And then just going back, and then you could go ahead.
Yeah, I was not in the same point of time.
sorry.
You take your time.
No, I was gonna say.
You stop
and
that man
then
already stop. Yeah, traffic wasn't there.
the other parent, who is the emotionally responsive one, can come off as overly emotionally responsive, and even if it's a boy, right? They'll be like, "Your mother making you soft," you know, like you're raising a soft child. Everything, you know, they are wrong or whatever. So it could also be the father is overly protective of the daughter as well. So I'm not just saying mother and son.
You don't want her to do anything
at all to damage themselves or whatever. But it can be a point of contention.
I think that carries us right into the next angle, which is the tension point between genders as to how they approach. Because generally speaking, men parent different than women.
Okay.
And I think that just by virtue of my father, mother can cause tension. Some may say a mother is a nurturer and a father is meant to build resilience in a child. So the father may be taking a good approach as to the child needs to face the world. You know? This child has to go in school and get teased. You know?
Yeah.
And it's not going to stop, and I can always be there to stop it. And not only that, this child, after that, they're going to go through university and they're going to go in the job, and it's not even going to stop then. They're going to get hardship in
the workplace.
Yeah, it's going to be tough in the workplace. This child has to learn to fend for themselves. So the father may be coming from that space, as the mother is coming from a different space. But as they operate in the same space, parenting the same child, they want to fight. Because you're babying this child too much. And she's like, "You're too hard on the boy, like the boy crying in the corner, you know."
As I said that, we're back to a scene from a guy called, gosh, I can't remember the guy's name. It's a guy from Canada. But he said it's better to be a warrior in a garden than a gardener in a war. It's better to be a warrior in a garden than a gardener in a war. Like,
survive.
You should be able, yes, we know you're a warrior and you might look out of place in a garden, but you would be able to handle yourself regardless of whatever the situation is.
If you mash up the garden now.
No, well, if you mash up the garden,
no,
because
that's
our next one, yes, Karina. But like you have the ability to be resilient or whatever, but you also know that it can be controlled, or you wouldn't go out and you wouldn't be aggressive or try to kill somebody else. No.
Yeah.
So from that perspective.
So I think the first point that I will take away from the discussion so far is that stop blaming the other person and thinking that they're coming from a bad place.
Okay.
You know, because sometimes we fight as parents, or sometimes we don't fight and we just inwardly build resentment.
Oh, that'll be worse actually, because it will have a point a day, it will just flip.
Yeah, just say it by mistake. And oh my. Then why you come out so?
Just like you.
Since he's small, I'm telling you that. My gosh. You just crumble a person's whole life work right there. So guys, let's take some of the online comments. Hear what you guys are saying.
So basically, doesn't have much online comments, you know. It's just Kamisha Chadban is joining us. Aquilina De Couto says thank you, and it was Sean Scipio from Stanmore who was emergency RSSC. So the chat seems to be a bit quiet tonight with regard to Margaret Ann Jones Baird is also joining us. But the chat seems to be a bit quiet, you know. Persons aren't posting up their
opinions.
Their perspective or their opinion as yet.
They're afraid of what?
Probably.
Afraid of their husbands sitting too close.
We talk too quick. Delicia Fox is saying a point of tension could be how both parents view supporting their children financially as they get older.
Oh boy.
So financially as they get older.
You're over 18, what you asking me for money for?
My lord. Let's say, you know, they are full-time students. What are you going to do?
Right, you pick up a job on the campus. I used to work on the campus.
You still on campus?
No.
I was like, oh, what?
I just given you one.
Health foods, man. Yeah, health foods are calf.
Yes, it's about a grind. I wouldn't be here to financially provide for you for the rest of your life. What if I die now?
What? So
that's in our parents talking.
Yeah.
Clearly.
My parents never do me that.
Well, I was trying to figure out. But I think that could be a point of contention.
That's a big point of contention, actually.
Especially, as parents are aging as well too, and they're trying to decide what they're going to do with the funds, how they're going to...
Let me give you a quick...
Yeah.
There's a story that came out on the newspapers about 2 weeks ago where a mother was suing her children for, I think it was a stepchild or something like that. Nevertheless, she was suing her children because the husband built businesses with her. And when he passed away, he left his share of the business to his children and the house to the children and stuff. Now, she would have had her own houses and stuff otherwise, and he would have had his houses. But apparently, she was upset with the what he left for her. Maybe he felt that she had enough, and so he just left it to his children. And so she was upset, so she took her children to court. Now she lose, and I think rightfully so. But that was the man's will. That was his will. And I'm just saying that this could be a real source of tension in not just parents, but in families. In terms of, I'm wondering if before he passed on, if he made his feelings clear to his wife.
Probably not.
Probably
She didn't watch that well before he passed out.
Yeah. Or even if he did, she probably say, you say that.
Yeah.
You know.
But like the question, you can just read it over again, Kareina.
Which one? She said a point of tension could be how parents support their children financially as they get older.
Because some parents might come from the perspective of, because it depends on the job the parent has as well.
Okay.
They're probably watching like, listen, I am not getting any younger. I need to put away some money for myself.
Right.
To sustain me for until the Lord says it's time to go home. Right? And if the child probably is saying, Daddy, you working or Mommy, you working, and why can't I get money for this or why can't I get money for that? Your parents might not necessarily explain to you why they can't give you money. But you as a child who's young and you should be resilient and you could go and work.
So they have working age.
Yeah, you have working age. We should be a little bit more understanding to your parents, especially if they give you a good foundation from going up from that primary school, secondary school, tertiary. Well, not tertiary because it's 18 now.
Yeah.
Right? So you probably should, as a child, be a little bit more understanding. As she said that, like, our parents, when we were growing up, like video games and stuff, never bought that for us. 4 of us, we started chip up. Hey boy, work there, chip up and buy stuff. So we, from growing up from young, like asking our parents for money is not something that we usually do. If we ask them for money, it's for something extremely important, not to go online with a girl or something like that. Right? So yeah.
Like with a girl, not important to David. David is a big man. He's a big man. I'm just joking.
Not important to your parents' pocket.
And not
at that point in
and it don't need to be important to their pocket.
Yes.
So yeah.
I'd like to agree with. I am agreeing with what David is saying. I think that also parents should be for sure on the same wavelength when it comes to supporting their children financially and equipping them with financial literacy skills.
Right.
If they didn't have for themselves, that might be hard to pass on directly. However, I think financial literacy, especially in this climate, is very important for children growing up now to have and also to appreciate things like sacrifices, working hard, as you say, resilience, budgeting, knowing how to invest, different things like that probably your parents may not have had it, but if they could direct you to a source, I think that's really, really important now that parents should guide their children in that area. And especially as it comes to tertiary education and stuff like that. There are I don't know how it is now, so let me just speak for now. When I was going through tertiary education, there were government tertiary apprenticeship and stuff that you could do during vacation employment to earn money to pay for school in the next semester and stuff like that I would have done or made use of, and that teaches you responsibility that you're working towards achieving a goal that you have set. And I think that is one important area that parents should definitely be on the same wavelength, and it could definitely cause contention if they're not.
100.
One big one that we miss. A big one should she have a boyfriend at this age?
Oh,
What
yeah.
age? What age? What age?
Should she?
Whatever age.
Not
He or
boyfriend
she.
girlfriend.
But generally, you
At
find the
different
contention
age.
around the girls.
Yeah, for sure.
Generally, the contention is around
Yeah,
the girls.
yeah.
So the father is like, ain't bringing no man. If I bring a man, I'll kill him.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
don't bring no man in my house. You know, you want to. And the mother is the one that, you know, she bringing him through the back door. Not literal back
Oh my
door,
God.
right? But she's bringing him, she's talking to the boy and find out, so you're interested in my daughter, maybe the late teens, 19, 20 or whatever the case
What
may be.
age?
I have other points too, but go ahead,
And
guys.
that's a
Come
big
from
one. Because that's a real one in our society, where there may be one parent who is not okay with their child having a boyfriend or girlfriend.
Right. Yes, that is true.
And the other parent may be facilitating the thing.
That is true.
And because of that, mother and father fighting in the bedroom.
Now, I would say, well, I wouldn't give it a specific age, but here what I would say. If you're handling your schoolwork properly, whatever, you could go through. Because it shows that you can manage your time, right? But if you're not...
12 years. 12 years I'm managing the school.
12 years a little young, right? But me trying to stop love, right? 12 years a little young, me trying to stop love, right? No, I'm 12 years old, I'm 12 years old,
After
right?
12 is lunch?
No.
Have mercy,
In a healthy environment, guys, in a healthy environment. If they're managing the schoolwork properly, I wouldn't jump with them. It's just like if somebody have sports or extracurricular activities, like something I hate to see. Oh gosh,
David, you just do that?
I know,
No. Something I hate to see is like a student is doing CXC or SA and their parents say, you can't go swimming no more, you can't go football no more. That's why we just get no medals in Olympics in Trinidad and Tobago, because everybody had to go lessons. Everybody had to go for hours. You in school for 8 hours and you have to go lessons again.
With the same teacher.
And all we athletes in our office now, writing. Anyway, sorry guys.
Yeah.
But you understand what I'm saying? If they're able to manage your time wisely, guys, I wouldn't jump with them personally. Yeah.
So-
And if the person that bring in the house decent too as well. If you bring a drag a person, no, you cannot have a boyfriend or girlfriend. No.
Because you don't know how to choose.
Yeah, you are choosing skills poor, but then again,
Yeah,
you
they
can't
don't
even stop that because you just had them in school and you just wouldn't know anything. So,
Impressive.
yeah.
So we have a couple comments and I'll give it to you all in brief as I can. Declan and Denise is saying maybe tensions are intentional in the makeup of the differences between men and women. We spoke about that earlier. So they said things like communication and taking time to understand each other is important. Also, Declan and Denise said that many points of tension can come through the type of education. Christian education versus prestige school education.
Yes,
Very
man.
important.
That's an important
Or
one too.
religion. If parents are not the same religion, sleeping over at a relative's house, to name a few. Very important. So these things, and your IT teacher would have said in situations where a child lives with a parent but spends a holiday with another, the parent who only has a child on holidays can seem like the fun parent, therefore causing tension rather in that.
In other words, you come by me and everything you couldn't do by your father or by your mother, you come here and get with.
Listen, if you come by me, I am the fun parent. Listen, I had to get my points in now. I am the fun. Let me go here, Harry's every day. Harry's 5 islands.
They're coming back by you with a snotty nose. Because they stay up all night and they play game, they watch TV that they shouldn't be watching. And that's a serious point at that.
But we
Because we
kind
parent the same child.
We kind of did, in terms of the 4 of us, my brothers, like our parents were strict, but when we go by, we auntie.
Everything.
When we home, that game had lock off by 10. When they buy auntie, we playing game from 69 to 6 in the morning. Watch your son come, wash your face and then go back and play. That's something we could have never done in our house.
I heard Darren's mom, Darren Sandy's mom, Sister Sandy, and she was giving a little speech some time ago, and she said when her grandchildren come by her, she said it's not her responsibility to make sure that this. She said, I name grandmother, they come to have a grand time and then go back home. That's your responsibility.
Wow.
I like that one. Grand time. I name grandmother. So yes, man. I love it.
And people might say that bad, but that is like a child need that kind of balance in your life.
Wow.
That's so military, left, right,
a little
right.
sort of
In a safe environment, yes.
Yeah, I understand. But you know, as you rightly said, when it is once in a while and you know you go by granny and you get to enjoy yourself, that's cool.
Yeah.
But when it's two parents who day in, day out trying to produce a specific outcome in a child, and you give any child whatever
Versus
you want to
parents
eat,
separated,
and you give any child whatever they want to eat, and when they buy you and to drink and to stay up for time, but I trying to enforce rules and time for bed and all those things, that can really be a point of contention.
For sure.
And the child can build resentment towards the parent that's trying to be more strict on.
Yeah, the one who's actually trying to be good for them.
The right parent.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel fun. It doesn't,
Yeah.
So that's why the two parents, whether they're together or not, need to be on similar grounds or have similar styles and put away their egos, which probably can be very, very difficult to do. And the hate that you have towards the other person, just for the betterment of the child.
Yeah,
that's true.
And you see, it comes down to, because you mentioned egos, and egos is definitely a part of it. But even outside of egos, we'll come to the topic when the guru comes on concerning values, right? Because it may not necessarily be an ego thing.
Well,
it just may be my values. I don't see it the way you see it.
Well, this is the thing, and I'm segueing into one of the comments. This is the thing where when Declan spoke about Christian versus prestige school. So that is the education part, because some person's values could be that I want my child to achieve this. I want them to go down this way, and this trajectory is the best part for this outcome. Whereas Christian education, I ain't really seeing that happening now, boy. Because, and the value system would be different as well. Also, you're seeing
it's a child to sing off a month.
Also, the religion part of it. If parents are not the same religion,
listen, that is a whole nother topic.
That is a bombshell.
Yeah.
I'm ready for people to cancel
religion,
which podcast yet.
Yeah,
I will. Let me hush.
No, if you had to cancel it, you had to cancel it in this wise. I am telling you, that's one of the biggest problems, because
that's a bad idea.
Your religion is a lot of times determinant the foundation for your values, your belief, your approach, your style, your worldview, everything. So when we're in two different wavelengths in that regard, what you eat, what you drink, everything.
Because you might see you sleeping over at a relative house that, go through now.
Yeah.
And the other parent be like, no, my child is not sleeping out. I control the influences of my child. I don't know what is going on over there. I'm not there with my child. My child could be vulnerable as well, but the other parents see and tell, why you got to be so hard up? Why you have to be so closed off to these things, you know? Why your child have to be up under us all the time?
The difference in religion, like, that is for me. That is not a smart move at all, boy. I know they love each other and think plenty, but listen, down the road, that's not a brilliant move at all. Just watch the stats and, you know.
I have a caller on the line here.
All right.
I have a caller on the line. Send a voice note. A caller. So guys, listen to this. Someone send this to us.
City or house divided against itself shall not stand. So it's important to stay consistent and front the child and also keep a united front, because they pick up on everything and notices everything. So it's important that parents, share that vision and understand that being on the same team when it comes to discipline is extremely important.
Yeah, if I didn't catch your voice, that's one of our fellow hosts there, Dion. And being on the same team is real critical. I think Dion said it best, and I think Shaniqua as well said it, in terms of agreeing. Parents should agree before.
Before anything happens.
Yeah, so discussion and communication among parents are actually critical. So guys, we're going to go to a break now. when we come back, we have the guru with us.
Yeah.
We have the guru. But this is the moment you've all been waiting for. We want to hear from Pastor Snell. What Pastor Snell has to say on the topic,
Yeah.
what to do when parenting styles clash. You're going to hear that in the break. And when we come back, we're going to have Dr. Dania Harry Nero with us. We'll be right back.
Hi everyone, so I'm here on behalf of the Merge podcast and I have Pastor Snell here with me. And our question today is what to do when your parenting style differs.
Yeah, so that's not very uncommon because we all come from different upbringings, different cultures, different worldviews.
Yes.
But I think what you got to make sure that you understand the difference between a different parenting style and different values. As long as you have the same values, you can actually have different parenting styles.
Right.
And the truth is, like, one of the things that you got to do is create an order that is specific for your home.
Yes.
So that no home is going to reflect just the husband's upbringing.
Right.
Or just the wife's upbringing.
Yeah.
But what you're going to have is you're going to create a merger that's a hybrid of both values. And I think it's just important to realize that in parents, like man and woman together, create the image of God.
Yes.
So that in one parent, there's going to be the law, and another parent, there's going to be grace.
Right.
And so as opposed to seeing those things as different, we got to see them as two sides of the same coin.
Yes.
And so I just think it's really critical to make sure, as long as we have the same values, how we get there is less important than where we're going.
Okay, good. Thank you so much for your time, Pastor Snell.
Yes, ma'am. Not a
Bye,
problem.
guys.
Back with our guru, Dr. Dania Harry Nero.
Welcome.
Thank you so
for agreeing
much.
to join us here on the Mood podcast.
Thank you all so much for having me.
And, when we have our gurus, we like to do them justice. We like to let the people know
Yes.
who we have here. So I would go through some of the things of Dr. Harry Nero here. Now, she's a counseling psychologist from Kumana, Toko. So Toko in the house.
Yeah.
She's now based in Arima, and she holds a BSc, MA, and a Doctor of Science in Psychology.
Lovely.
Listen to me. Real things happening
Heavy
here.
hitters in the house.
Yeah. Her career spans roles as youth officer and children's probation officer, alongside work as a certified chef. I know you all didn't know that was coming.
I
So
did
listen
not
to
know
me.
that was coming.
She is a registered psychologist with TTAP, runs a private counseling practice, and serves as a peer counselor with ComTalk International. In 2026, big accomplishment, guys, she published Roles Restored, a book blending biblical principles and neuroscience to support couples. Passionate about family and service, she is the only biological child in a family of 15 siblings.
Wow.
Wrap your head around that, guys. And is a guardian of 2 foster daughters. Across all she does, she is committed to helping people build healthy, faith-centered relationships. Dr. Dania Harry Nero, you guys are right here on the Merge podcast.
Yes, welcome, and we're happy
And
to have you.
guess what?
Guys, welcome, Hannah.
Yeah.
Put welcome in the chat. Welcome, our
Welcome.
guru. Come on.
Welcome.
Welcome up our
And
guru. Make her feel
Dr.
comfortable with us.
Well,
Yeah.
and Dr. Harry Nero, that book that you were talking about, would you happen to have a copy here? Or, I don't know, that the folks could see, because I mean, it's a book on neuroscience and relationships. Tell us a little bit, and if you have it,
But I have one right here in my pocket,
Oh my goodness! She came prepared, guys.
right
So-
here.
Right here. Wow. Out of pocket.
Yes,
So-
right here in my pocket.
If you want this beautiful book to be yours.
Yes.
You could
Nice.
get the book and tell us a little bit about it.
Guys, just take a look.
Take a look,
Yeah,
take a
yeah.
look, take a look, take a look.
You'll see now. Good there.
Probably not.
Yeah. Right.
Very cool.
I will provide my contact so persons
Sure.
could contact me in
Sure.
order to reserve their copy of the book. And the book is, I have a tendency to combine Bible and psychology.
Okay.
That's
Wow.
something I always wanted to do when I began studying psychology. So I call it bibliopsych.
Oh, wow.
Where
Nice.
anything I do with psychology must be backed up by the Bible. So the book covers the roles that God gave to husbands and wives and why it hasn't changed even now in 2026. So while responsibilities might change, the dynamic of the family might change, the roles that God gave, it hasn't changed. And that's what the book covers. It also gives practical advice in terms of how to apply what God says in the Bible in this modern time.
Wow.
So it's really in-depth. That's just a short summary of what the book covers. But it's really in-depth. It has a lot of topics. It talks about how it also affects children. How children see the mother and the father when they operate within the sphere that God gave. How children appreciate that as well.
Yeah, I just picked up the book here.
All right.
And I happened to fall on chapter 9, Raising Children Within Their Roles.
Look at that.
And I will read in your hearing a short excerpt. Research confirms that we intuitively know parents influence children's gender development through role modeling and encouraging different behaviors and activities in sons and daughters. Your children are watching how you function as husband and wife, and they are forming their understanding of masculinity and femininity based primarily on what they see in your home.
Yeah,
If
that's
you
right.
want to know.
That's right.
Wow.
That's right.
Powerful book here, man.
Yes, it is. Yes, it
Praise
is.
God. Praise God for your ministry, because this is a tool of ministry.
Yes, it is.
And so, well, you would have heard the discussion. You were in studio, and we heard Pastor Snell,
Yes.
the pastor of the Oakwood University Church and the Breath of Life Ministry. He was in Trinidad, a powerful man of God, globally renowned speaker. He was in here in Trinidad, and we caught a moment with him in the airport.
Yes, with our international correspondent.
Yes, with our field correspondent. Just when he was going, we thought we had missed him, and he went through the gates into the security, into the departure lounge, and someone got him there to ask him the question.
It was my sister, by the way. I'm just claiming responsibility. It was my sister.
And by the way, guys,
Selena
we
Mohammed.
did not ambush the man.
No.
They happened to be on the same flight, and we happened to bounce up in the airport together. So we just felt that we should ask
It was the working of the Lord. But sister,
Bless
So
God.
you heard what he had to say about parents coming together, and we don't need to aggregate the mother or father, but both their styles form the child. What you have to say on that?
Oh, I agree with that 100%. There are different parenting styles, yes, but they can work together when you are not competing with each other. They must complement each other.
Okay.
So I could be black, my husband could be white, but once that complements each other, that works just fine. Once it's competing against each other, that's where the problem lies. So I 100% agree with what he said.
I like that. Complement versus compete.
That's right.
So can you give us a little example of when you say compete, so that persons looking on could practically say, okay, I need to watch this kind of behavior in my home or something like that.
Oh, one of the favorites, good cop, bad cop.
Oh boy.
Right.
When one of the parents is that parent that is they're always loving, caring, nurturing, and that's the one that the child goes to. And then you have the other parent that's always enforcing the rules, enforcing the punishments and responsibility and accountability. So you have the good cop parent and the bad cop parent. That fosters resentment.
Okay.
It also makes one parent always the victim in the child towards themselves, because they start to feel as though, one, resentful towards their partner, and they know that the child doesn't like them.
Right.
Then they start to withdraw from parenting.
Okay.
And eventually you will see that parent, whether it's the husband or the wife, they will turn and they will say, you know what, since the child wants to come to you for everything and everything is your way, I'll just withdraw from parenting. And that's when parenting styles begin to compete. If it's not complementing each other, where even if you don't agree about something, you don't do it in front of the child.
Yeah.
At all. Withdraw. Have that line where, you know what, mommy and daddy will discuss this and we'll come back. And you go away, you argue elsewhere. But then when you come back as a united front. One person, one response, and that's what we're sticking to.
Yeah.
And that's when it complements each other and you're not competing with each other.
I like that approach,
Yeah,
because
I
I
like
think oftentimes you get a situation where one parent is, as you say, good cop, bad cop. One parent disciplining, and the other one sometimes hides behind the disciplinarian. So they hide, they choose not to do any disciplining. Not because they don't have opportunity, but because daddy will do that.
Yeah.
And I want to remain the child good friend.
That's right.
I want to remain in the child good graces. So I don't ever want to reprimand the child.
Yeah.
So even though you agree with the punishment, put him in front. Put her in front.
Yeah.
And I think that really builds resentment because you feel, the parent feel her feelings. And the child, the child starts making statements, mommy fun and daddy not fun, or daddy fun and mommy, And so I think parents, even if when discipline is done, even if you aren't the one doing the discipline, you ought to stand with the parent who's doing the disciplining, to ensure that the child gets the idea that is us together and not us competing.
and children tend to choose the path of least resistance.
Okay.
So I, as a child, will not go to the parent that I know will say no. I will go the other direction because it's easier.
Right.
And some parents take it to the extreme where they allow the child to express certain things about the bad cop parent. And as we say in Trinidad parlance, they allow the child to bad talk the parent with them.
Yeah.
So daddy always doing this and don't take on your father.
Yeah.
Or mommy always, girl, that's how your mother is. And we bad talk the other parent with the child.
Yeah.
That's what fosters, like you said, the resentment, and they start to disrespect this parent's authority. They disregard whatever this parent have to say. I've heard children say, a parent will say, no, don't do this. I go and ask my father. And they walk off. Or I go and ask my mother. Because they have no respect for that parent.
Yeah.
So it takes it to an extreme where the child no longer considers this person as an authority figure in their life. And it's whatever is whatever when it comes to this parent.
And I think, interestingly enough, even the good cop parent, they could, in trying to be a child's friend, I know this is a different topic altogether, in trying to be that child's friend, sometimes that child could even start to disregard you and what you say and your word, because you talk so much, you don't discipline me, you don't enforce anything, so the child would now start to run circles around you because the child know you are not an enforcer of discipline. So even, yes, it fosters this resentment between the parents, but also between the parents and the child who is the good cop. That could also foster some parenting, some behavioral challenges.
And of course it's a cycle, because that comes back now to upset the parent who's trying to correct the child.
Yes.
Because now I have a situation where the product of the child is not a good one, where the child is not being trained properly because they're only good in front of me.
Yeah.
But from the time I leave the room, anything, the child mash up the whole house. And when I come back, they're good.
Yeah.
So I am trying to have a disciplined child, not in front of me and behind my back, but because the child, so that's an important point.
Yes.
So another conversation, how much would you say of our parenting styles we get from our childhood upbringing?
It was coming. Yeah.
A little too much than we're willing to admit. Let me say it like that. For example, let's say I had abusive parents. I didn't.
Okay.
I didn't. Let me make that disclaimer. But let's say I had abusive parents who didn't know that line between discipline and abuse and that sort of thing. And I decided I will never do this to my children. And then I become that parent that is very permissive.
Okay.
And I love off on my children, and my child could do no wrong, and I will never raise my voice. I will never correct. But then I could also just become just like my parents.
True.
As well. So it goes to either end of the extreme. Or I either become my parents, I become the total opposite of my parents, or I decide, here's what I want to rewrite the past, so let's try something new.
Okay.
So it affects our parenting 100%, like I said, more than we are willing to admit. Because a lot of persons, they don't really want to go back to look into their child to see why they are the way they are.
Too painful.
So it's too painful. Some of us, we really don't want to look back. But if we do, we'd realize, oh, this is why I do this. This is why I do that. And then we could understand if we are willing to change it.
So someone, I think the next question that begs is, someone who desires not to be any of the polar, the extremes, but they want to find that balance. I don't want to be exactly like my parents. I don't want to go and swing on the next. I want to find the balance. What is the recommendation for that person? How can they achieve that?
Recommendation is, one, acknowledging that your childhood has affected who you are today.
Okay.
And then being willing to seek the help, the professional help, to look back and figure out, all right, this is where it stems from. How do I fix this? But you must be willing, and you have to be willing to acknowledge that. If we don't acknowledge it, it's just going to be there, and that's how it will be. But there must be intentional healing and a want for healing for that to happen.
Okay. That's important. That's important, because we live in a society where a lot of people tell you what to do, but not how to do it.
Yeah.
So we all know.
They'll tell you all the wrong things.
Yeah. They'll tell you how to do the wrong things, though. They'll tell you exactly how to do all it. They'll give you very granular details on how to do all the wrong things.
When it comes to the good things, and then we have a taboo around counseling and
therapy
and things like that.
Most definitely, especially in the Caribbean.
Yeah, boy, oh gosh.
Especially in the church.
Yeah, boy.
Yes.
Right?
Permit me to digress.
I didn't want to
digress.
But that's just to stray a little bit, especially in the church.
I'm sure you would have heard it already as a therapist. Counseling, when you go back to counselor, they're only going to tell you everything you know already.
Yeah, and they're going to ask you, what would you like to do?
Like,
or if you go to therapy, you have no faith.
Yeah.
You're not praying enough.
That's
God could
problem.
fix all your problems,
Yeah.
you know?
It's a spiritual problem.
And I tell them, I said, the same way God created doctors to help with physical pain, the same way we have psychologists to help with that mental pain.
Yeah.
And it is pain.
Yeah, really.
And people need to acknowledge that it's real pain. Whether we could see it or not, it is pain. People are suffering, but we need to be open to getting that help.
Yeah.
And I know another reason as well, again, we strain, but another reason as well is lack of trust in people, because you're talking to somebody about your business.
Yeah.
And that lack of trust is there. You know, you're very skeptical of next thing I hear my business all over the place and that sort of thing. So it's really about being one, comfortable with someone, finding that person that you could go to. And I always say, once you're a Christian, go to a Christian counselor.
Yeah. But question, concerning that fear for confidentiality, can you sue your therapist if they share your business around
100%. 100%.
Guys, you heard it here
Yes,
first.
you can. Yes, you can. I tell people when I use stories, because in the book I use examples of couples, and I asked people, but I also changed names.
Yeah,
so
you put
no
a
one
pseudonym.
will know who I am talking about.
Yeah.
But I asked the couples, could I use part of your story?
Yeah.
And not a problem. And I made up names for them as well, because I wasn't going to be using real names in the book.
Yeah.
But it is something, because I also do when I talking in churches and stuff, and I also ask clients before, like, this would come in handy, could I just give a little of your story? But I never use names.
Yeah.
Right.
I still don't use names even though I have permission.
Understand.
But yes, you could sue your therapist, because that's a breach of confidentiality.
Yeah.
You could go right ahead.
I'm not telling you go and sue your therapist, but I'm just saying that there are some.
I know some people who go up there and give it story first because they like the sensational.
Yeah.
I find, I'm like, people just come to you for counseling.
Hey, stop talking counselors, leave them alone.
No, some
But
people who don't have confidence.
I understand.
Yeah.
But the reality of it is that that's the path to go in order to correct those extremes in parenting. In yourself, to parent your child a little bit more balanced, you have to know where your hurts, your past, your traumas are, so that you can go get the therapy. And therapy shouldn't be a taboo thing. I would recommend that you at least have 4 people in your life. I always say have a medical doctor, a chiropractor,
Oh boy.
a therapist, and a lawyer. You need these people.
On speed dial.
Yeah. Have them, you know, somebody to crack the bones, somebody to deal with your medical condition, somebody to deal with your mental health, and somebody to deal with your environment, legal stuff.
Yeah.
So that's good advice, because coming into the whole parenting space and whatnot, we really have to find that balance.
Yes.
I think it's to find that
Most
balance.
definitely.
So if you need counseling, not to do. Sign yourself up.
Did you share your number with the folks?
I
as
did
yet?
not. I did not.
And by the way, this was not planned, and we're not marketing, but we're just saying that. No. I need to say
Make a disclaimer,
it's a disclaimer. The reality of it is, people have issues and they don't know where to go. And people always say what to do, they don't say how to do it. So, Doc, share your number.
Yes. So my contact is 318-5564. 318-5564. So that's my contact. You can message me, you can call. Not anytime,
Not
people.
anytime. Indisposed.
Please. I need sleep as well. But you can message, you can call, and if I do miss the call, I will get back to you.
So, in your opinion, getting back to the topic here at hand, can a parental tension point in terms of their different parenting approaches, can it become a source for marital separation or divorce?
Oh yeah, most definitely.
How so?
Most definitely. I like to give examples, but it can, because one of the things that will do, it will cause a breakdown in everything else. A breakdown in communication, a breakdown in intimacy, a breakdown in just the whole family dynamics.
Yeah.
And when that breakdown happens, then yes, it will cause people will, I can't live with, or they say it, what is it? It's irreconcilable differences. And they separate. And yeah, that's something that can contribute to that, because when you have, and you all spoke about it earlier, you have that authoritarian parent, and then you have this permissive parent. One parent always feels as though they are all about the discipline, and the other permissive parent is seeing this person as this abusive person. And some persons will tell you, well, he was abusive or she was abusive. And it's not necessarily that was the case, just their parenting styles were different. But that person saw it as this person being abusive to the children. So they left because it was abusive, and that wasn't really the case. So it can cause problems to the point of where couples will separate.
Oh boy.
And it's something I always recommend. These are things that people should know before they get married.
Yes. Oh yes.
We are too much out there, again restrained, but we are too much out there, talking about what's your favorite color and where you like to go. And we don't ask,
What is your sign?
what went on in your family? How your parents discipline you? Like what kind of punishments you used to get? Like we don't ask people these questions. And then if
What
you
think
ask,
is okay,
if you ask persons these questions, they're looking at you like
what?
What?
You're so deep so fast.
Yeah, why are we going into this? I was like, no, I want to know now. Because I'm really not trying to convince you why my parenting style is the best, and I'm also not trying to waste my time with somebody that I am not compatible with. And when we say don't be equally yoked, people only think that to marriage and religion. They forget everything else that you could be unequally yoked with. And parenting styles is one of them.
It's a big one.
Yeah.
And then it wouldn't just have the impact on, you and your partner, but your child, your offspring, a whole new, brand new, fresh human being, fresh out of the pack, coming out into this world.
And you and your partner confused.
That's you, and then you confuse the child. You could either make or break this child with. Look at it like that. You could either make or break this child with your parenting, and then thereby making a break in society.
Yeah, boy.
You know?
Because you're sending this child out into the world to meet people.
Yeah. It's a sad reality, and I think today is a wake-up call for parents to recognize that your conflict at home or inability to reconcile the different parenting styles has an impact on the child. Not just on your marriage, not just on the relationship, on the child. Question I have for you, Doc. The man and the woman cannot see eye to eye on a particular approach in parenting. Any particular approach, let's say discipline for want. should, in the religious context, the woman submit to the man in this context, to his parenting style? Or should she say, I is the mother of the child?
I carry the child for 9 months.
Or should she say, I'm the man of the house? He said, this is how we train any child, and then we train the child. Thoughts?
Why are you trying to get me?
It's getting heated, guys.
Why are you trying to get me in trouble? Now, it depends on what it is. And yeah, it really depends on what it is. And like you said, we'll use the example of discipline. If this is something where we can't draw the line between discipline and abuse, I would tell the mother, don't back down.
Okay.
This is not something where he's the man of the house, I will just submit and just let him abuse the children. Don't back down. If it's something where there is a misunderstanding in terms of where the person is coming from and stuff, that's where you're trying to ask, okay, walk me through what your thought process is and try to understand where that person is coming from. Give your opinion as if you all could come to some unified policy for disciplining the children. But if it's something where it's a danger to your children, don't back down. Don't leave that to, I'm supposed to submit and that's that. No, don't back down at all. This is where you have to stand up and be like, I really, yes, you are the man of the house, I respect that, but we're not doing that.
So question to the ladies. Kareina, you answer just next. Is there ever a situation where the woman has to submit her parenting style to the man of the house? Is there ever a situation where the woman has to submit her parenting style to the man of the house? Kareina, what are your thoughts? I'll put all in the hot seat.
I would like to respond like this, and you could take it, viewers.
With grace.
Yeah. What I think is important would be the values that both parents have. So I'll take it at that level.
Okay.
The values that are underpinning the style of parenting and the approaches. So what is the outcome you're trying to achieve in this child? Can it be done? Because I am thinking that possibly the man in this case is doing something that may be aggressive. That's how I am contextualizing the situation. Maybe he's doing something aggressive. That's the only way I'm seeing that the woman would probably have such a big issue with. And I'm kind of piggybacking on what Doc is saying here. That's the only way I think the woman would have an issue with, because if the man is doing something aggressive that she's not in favor of.
So let me take it off the table.
So I'm trying to contextualize what.
Yeah.
What
so let me contextualize it. Let's not use any scenarios. It's a theoretical postulation. Is there any, outside of whether it's abuse or whatever, is there any scenario where, because the parents can't reconcile their different approaches, I don't like to give examples because then it...
A child old, is it a young child, is it a small child, is it a during the parenting?
Let me try to get the most neutral example I can possibly get.
The child not born.
Let us say you have a boy,
all right,
mother and father. The mother thinks the boy needs a little bit more nurturing and attention, and the father thinks polar opposite. He said, no, that boy, what he really needs is a little bit more toughening up. And they can't see eye to eye. They cannot see eye to eye. Should they fight till the death? Or should one of them submit? And should the wife be the one to submit?
Man, I would have, if David was here.
David!
If David was here.
Hey, get David on mic. Get David on mic.
Come around there, David.
David.
I don't know what David's going on to say. So, sorry.
I'm back. Doctor. So let me answer the question. Who should have the final say if it's concerning the boy?
Yeah.
Now here I want to tell the lady. If you don't trust me enough to discipline our son, I don't think they should be together. Or we should be together. Listen, because if you don't want our son to become the man that I am,
Okay.
All right. Yeah.
because essentially I'm the wrong father raising your child. So I'll take it from that perspective. But for me, as I was telling Jayden before the camera came on, I think that the man should have the finance in terms of the boy child, and the woman the finance in terms of the girl.
Okay.
And people might not agree and might say, well, it depends on the circumstance, but ultimately you should trust. I think you should trust your partner to do the right thing with
The gender.
the gender.
Same gender.
And if you don't have that trust in the partner, I think that there's a deeper issue in that relationship. That's just my.
So we're not fighting it to the end.
Yeah, I wouldn't fight. I wouldn't fight.
The
it.
woman's supposed to submit when you're training a male, and the man should submit to the woman's ways when she trains a female.
Yeah, because I trust my partner making the right
because
decision.
if you don't trust me to train our girl child, then you should not marry me because then you're not satisfied with the woman that I am.
Yeah, but are we then saying that you didn't parent yourself, Anna? So chances are your parenting skills may not match the person you are.
True.
So I may like who you are, but I ain't too sure about your parenting skills because it's your first time at it.
But then it's your first time too.
I admire your mother and father parenting skills, but not necessarily yours.
Yeah. I mean, it is an interesting take.
It's an interesting take, yeah.
And you know something what David said?
Well, give us any comments.
In Doc's book, she actually said, children learn what this, paraphrasing obviously, I don't have the good language there, like how eloquently she said it, but she said that chapter 9. Children learn what they see just by your roles as parents. That's how they learn their roles. So it's kind of piggybacking on what David is saying, but I think to an extent, have a unified policy.
Yeah, 100%.
Have a unified policy. So
let me give my 2 cents in this.
but I think that sometimes submission is necessary when you can't come to an agreement. Sometimes let's submit for this period of time to see how it comes out.
A sunset clause. Let's see if it works.
Let's see if it works. If it is working, and then we will reevaluate it. And because at the end of the day, I think is a working document. Right? It's So that's what I think.
Yeah, it's on the job training. It's on the job training, seriously. And I piggybacking off of that exactly, which is what I was going to say. The submission part comes with putting aside what I want and let's try it your way. And let's see, like you said, let's see if this works. And also, I should be able to trust you as a partner that you will do what's best for me. You will not do anything that will harm, that will endanger. So I have to put that trust in you as a partner to be doing this your way, and let's go with that.
Yeah, and I agree with that. I think there are many scenarios where the woman ought to submit to the parenting style of the man. And there are also many scenarios where the man needs to adhere and submit to the wisdom of the woman. Now, I think when there comes to a stalemate for the functioning of the home and the betterment of the marriage, God has placed the man as the head. And so I think in that regard, a woman really needs to submit and consider how she could massage the situation between husband and wife. So for me, Kareina and I disagree where this is concerned, training our daughter X, Y, and Z, and I say, girl, see it this way. She said, no, I see it this way, so and so and so. I think at that point in time, she needs to recognize, okay, we have to come to an agreement. And now acquiesce to the man's leadership, not necessarily to his position and parenting style, because now she may take a position of, okay, you're the man of the house and you're leading this family, and I trust you to lead this family under God. But now the man has a responsibility, because you should never rule your home with an iron fist. So what the man's responsibility now is to say, well, this is a prayer about this. This is the research. This is the, You know, and I mean, this is not talking about us, but you know, much times, Kareina and I just be sharing with each other research on parenting. 2 o'clock in the morning, she sent me a WhatsApp. I get a whole long article on parental and attachment styles.
Yeah.
And if you do this. I was like, okay, cool. And likewise, so I think that is the point where the man should lead. But the husband and wife now need to caucus.
Yeah.
They need to caucus now and start to study this thing together. So she now going to bring her, she's submitting, but while she's submitting, she bringing a little piece of information. What do you think about this?
Yeah.
What do you think about this? You know, I read this little passage here, read this, what it says, so. And we come in together and we form in this thing
because
together.
that's what a helper does.
Yeah.
That's what a helper is, not just somebody that sits at the sideline and, you know, whatever he decides and you just sit down. No. A helper helps.
Yeah.
She's bringing the information. She's giving, you know, what you do. She's giving you things to think about. But at the end of the day, when you sit and you all talk and it's like, all right, we will do this or we will try this approach. It's like, all right, let's do that.
And I think, guys, just a message to the guys. Guys, be willing to take the help. Because that's our next thing. Plenty guys very ego-driven and very pig-headed, to be quite honest. You need to be able to take the help. A woman has a lot she can give. A lot she can help you with in life, but you have to be willing to take the advice. And I think if the man takes the leadership role, because we can't fight. We can't, I want this way, you want this way, we take and we going back and forth and we fight. No, somebody has to say, hey, let one person lead and let us caucus this thing together, let's discuss it, massage it, and see where we're going with this together.
Because we're on the same team.
Because we're on the same team.
Reason, you gotta reach a good team, you know?
And
winning team.
And as Pastor Snell said, he pointed it out, it was mentioned as well tonight, but as long as our values are aligned, the outcome is what matters more than the how. The outcome is what matters more.
Yes.
Yeah? So we're gonna, guys, we spent a little while here with us. It was fun, it's nice. We're going into the final question to Dr. Nero, to Dr. Harry Nero.
Yes.
All right? We're going into the final question. How best can a couple reconcile their styles and approaches to avoid resentment? I think we kind of touched on it.
Yeah, we kind of touched on that. So, again, the unified policy as to what we doing as parents. Because, like we rightfully said, this is a on-the-go thing. We're doing this for the first time. This is not something that anybody could teach you. Anybody could tell you exactly how to do it. Yes, it has research and stuff, but you have to put all of that together to get something that would work for you. So getting something where you're unified on, and this is our policy in terms of how we address certain things. So when we disagree, we have that code sentence. If we're not doing this in front of the child, mommy and daddy will discuss, we coming back.
I like that.
Right? And that's the code to, nope, talk, then we come back. And when you come back, like I said, it's not both of you talking to the child. One person, one response. And the other person is just, because you're showing the child that we agreed on this and this is the decision. There is no division in that. All right? Another thing as well is don't pit children against parents.
Okay.
Don't do that. Don't do the good cop, bad cop thing. Don't try to be only the fun parent and this one is the disciplinarian. Don't split that where this is your job and this is mine. Both of you should be the fun parent. Both of you should be the disciplinarian. So don't leave that onto one parent. Also, don't try to downplay a parent's importance in a child's life. And I see this with mothers a lot. When they try to take away certain parenting aspects from the dad, because that is my child.
Oh boy.
That is my child, so you shouldn't, and don't hit my child. And they say it in front of the children. Don't do that at all. Don't, when you're talking to children, you're just like your father. You're just like your mother, and you don't attack anybody's character as well when you're doing that as well. So those things are things that you could work on. Learn what parenting styles are, the different types. See what works for you, and what would work for you is dependent on you, and also the type of child that you have as well. Because not all children need the same, and we're talking about within the same household. You have different children in the same household. Not all children need the same kind of approach. So you need to know what works for that child as well. So this is something you really have to sit down and discuss. Like I said, these are things we should discuss before we get married. And even if you are already married, try having that discussion before you have children. So at least you know, all right, this is how we will approach this, and we change as we go dependent on what we're dealing with.
Beautiful.
I like how you said although you have children in one home, different parenting styles might apply. Because like for us, like the most terrible thing my mom could probably do is for me to stand up on a tile when football going on outside. For me, that worse than licks. Because we hear men saying, "Goal, boys!" So that is probably the thing that might tune me in. Hey, David, if you give trouble, you're not going and play football. You're going to stand up on a tile. Right? And that is not really abusive. My skin now will like that. So knowing what parenting style to put on or to use on what child is really important.
Yeah, because licks would work for one, but talking would work for the other. And like I said, punishment. You're not banning children from doing something.
They still get banned?
Yes, they do. They do. But it actually works better for some than if you actually make them do something else. So you really need to know the child and know what will work.
Yeah, definitely. Well, guys, we had a wonderful time here tonight. We're going to bring a wrap on it. We're going to have a few announcements, and then we're going to take the final word from David, Kareina, myself, and Dr. Harry Nero. But the Merge Podcast has been doing some stuff, and we're moving around. We're inviting you to move around with us. And so on May the 30th, I'm feeling to put on my preacher voice and say, what day did I say?
May the 30th.
May the 30th, we will be in Mount Pleasant Church in Tobago for the entire day, morning to evening. It promises to be a wonderful time dealing with boyfriend, girlfriend, stages of relationships, communication, generation gaps, all these things. So we in Tobago, David?
Yeah.
You gonna take it yet?
No. I'm like, kind of soon, but I'll reach it.
So guys, we're in Mount Pleasant Church on the 30th of May, and in July the 25th, we are in St. Vincent. Yes, we are in St. Vincent, and we're encouraging anyone who wants to participate, come along. You're free to do so.
I know what to say, I just want to come.
Yes. So again, it was a pleasure. Tonight we're dealing with the topic, when parenting styles clash. Any final words, David?
Before David goes, we just want to let you guys know that we start the podcast with the on-the-ground interviews at 7:55 p.m. So it just happens right before the Merge Podcast, so you guys can log in a little earlier to grab those interviews, to catch those interviews. And if you know you did an interview, log on next time so you could see yourself.
Because we know some of y'all come on waiting, and while you're waiting, we're gonna let y'all be, you know.
So
yes.
sign in early.
Yeah, so in closing, parenting styles, as the doctor said, it's important to discuss it before marriage. Like, that's a whole topic that you can spend hours discussing with someone, but it's extremely important because I think that can make or break a marriage. So discuss, talk. If it can't come to a resolution, get a professional. And you just use resources that you have available to you, or if you don't have good resources, find good resources.
I like the point about different, as long as we have the same values, varying parenting styles can create an all-rounded child, a balanced child, and so I like that.
My takeaway is that at the end of the day, we are on the same team and we are raising kingdom children. Not children just for here and now, but for heaven. So we have to be, again, on the same wavelength of what we are doing, what are the outcomes we want, our value system, and we are raising kingdom children.
Yes. And always remember, it's about complementing, not competing. You're not warring against each other. You are complementing each other, like Mr. Sinhill said, for a well all-rounded child.
Beautiful. Guys, so there you have it. What to do when parenting styles clash. We would be back here again next month, June the 12th. Log right back in here. We'll be dealing next month with the topic. Drum roll. Can long distance relationships last?
Oh Lord. All right.
Can long distance relationships last? Right, so we're coming back next month to deal with that topic. But again, thank you for joining us tonight. Remember to continue to share. And before you leave, please subscribe and like this video. Remembering we're always better together.
Better with you.
Good night, everyone.
Bye.
Right, guys, so we're here at Maloney Estate. CHAY just finished, so we're going to ask people, can different parenting styles cause tension in a relationship? So we're going to get these people and we're going to get their feedback, right? Stay with me. Let's go! Different parenting styles. Could that cause tension in a relationship? And if so, why?
Yes, it does, because I may have my way of dealing with something and my husband will have his own way of dealing with it, right? So obviously we would come from different backgrounds, different families, different perspectives. So yes, it will cause problems.
As we talk about problems, one of our offspring will smile. Okay, so what do you think is the best way to deal with the tension in the relationship? Your husband says, Kais had to get some lash, and you say, well, let me talk to him.
I think we must come together before. We shouldn't leave it by chance. Like this happened, and we now deciding, okay, you deal with this how, and then I might be upset with how you handled it. Right? I think we need to come to a mutual agreement and understanding of how we deal with it. Because I might realize, like if I do this, my son will react differently. If I do X, my daughter will react differently. So we now can have a discussion and say, well, okay, I realize, okay, like for instance, my son, every morning, he would kick up a fuss to go to school, right? But I already mastered that. From the time he wake up in the morning, you have to greet him with hugs, show some love and say, okay, how was your sleep? You rest nice. But on the other hand, he kick up a fuss and you want to hit the boy hard slap as he wake up. No. Those things, they spoil the entire day there. Right? So you have to learn the child and discuss how you're going forward.
Okay, so could different parenting styles cause tension in relationships? If yes, why?
What do you mean by different parenting styles?
Right, so I believe in hitting the child at hard manners, and she believes in being gentle with John. Talk to John nice.
So John, it depends on the crime, eh?
Right. The crime,
it depends on the crime, right? So, for example, if you tell John go in your bed, and John
not going
in bed. Sometimes John might need a little bit of
right,
set to himself, you understand? John might need a shaking up, but I think really and truly, I think is both parents have to come together and you find a way to really and truly deal with the situation and really and truly love. You understand? Really love. So it's not a case of corporal punishment is the way or beating a child is the way. Sometimes it could happen as a result of frustration. Sometimes it can be frustrated, you're talking to the child more than once, and sometimes it just needs a small nudge, in the direction. But I don't believe in outright saying whether the corporal punishment is the way.
Okay. Well, what about you say if you have two children and they both do the same thing, but one style of parenting or one style of punishment wouldn't work for the other? Would you do two, like, so beat one and talk to one, or you're beating two or talking to two?
So you're talking about, okay, so for example, male and female?
Yeah, or they do the same thing and they give them different punishments.
Oh, the same thing and they give them different punishments. Good question. I think it depends on the situation and depends on, I guess, the child's nature too. Because that some children can be more harder than others.
Right.
So some children you might have to talk to more than once, and for other children you might just talk to, might just have to raise your voice and the child already melt.
Okay.
And for some children they just stubborn. I mean, I won't say stubborn, but they just a bit more rebellious. You understand? They might need
a little bit more nudge.
Yeah, a little nudge.
Okay.
But yeah.
Of course it can cause tension because I have my style, and she would have hers.
Whose style is the best way? Or whose style would be deemed the best way? Let's say if it's, right, boy, children, whose style is the best way?
All right, well, both styles. Both styles are good. There are times my style kick in,
Right.
and there are times her style kick in, and it works that way.
Okay.
All right. So sometimes I would call her for assistance,
Okay.
and sometimes she would call me for assistance.
Okay. So you're saying at varying times, some styles might be more applicable. One style might be better used instead of the heavy-handed approach or
Yes.
soft-handed approach.
Yes.
What if none of them working?
Hardly. Hardly ever.
Hardly ever. Okay, so you are the master style, so you had the soft, hard, you know which one to put for when then.
Yeah. Not only time. Not only time. That's why sometimes my wife will jump in and she'll take over.
Okay.
Alright?
Okay.
Yeah. But at have times where you see that, well, as they grow, you get to learn the children.
Okay.
So you would see the behavior, and with that type of behavior, I would know, well, all right, I have to deal with this. All right? And then when it comes to other things, I would just know that, darling, you come and deal with this. And I would just go and show that.
So I guess you're realizing, okay, this situation here is best that my wife deal with this one compared to me, because her style or how she might do
It
it.
will work in this situation, more softer. Not heavy-handed.
So it's right saying too as well, there must be some level of disagreement in terms of, okay,
Yes,
you must,
definitely.
every problem is not nailed because you have a hammer.
No.
Okay.
I guess plus my wife and I prayed a lot.
Okay.
Right, we read the book a lot and we learn from it. We also ask persons that have children, big children,
Right.
for advice and counsel and how to deal and how to treat with them, because I mean, sometimes they really work our patience.
Right.